Hello and welcome to Profiles in Risk. This is your host, Tony Cañas, and today I have with me Robin Kiera. And as usual, I did not actually ask him how to pronounce his last name, but Robin is in Hamburg, Germany. So, by the way, you are our second German guest in about 2
Cool.
weeks.
Who was the first?
Recently, what's his name? The esports guy, Tom.
Thomas.
Yes. So, and that one hasn't gone live. But if I had to guess, you guys will go live. Maybe we'll do a German week or something. But anyway, Dr. Kiera is with digitalscouting.de, and we're talking about attention hacking and kind of what trends you're seeing in the industry out there. But I always like to talk a little bit about kind of your background. So looking at your LinkedIn, I couldn't really figure out how you got into insurance. Like the first insurance role I see is a board role with Allianz. So how did you end up coming into the insurtech orbit?
Well, I have to share a secret with you. I am a recovering Allianz sales agent, but I've been clean for a long time, so no worry.
Okay.
But I still could sell you. If I have a bad day, I sometimes feel like selling an accident or liability insurance or household insurance.
Okay, so
kidding.
Did you used to sell life, or did you sell what you guys in Europe call non-life, or what did you sell?
Everything from supplementary health insurance, full health insurance, P&C, life, whatever the client needed or the sales initiative demanded.
Okay, and how long did you sell for?
I did it for about a year, 1.5 years, and then I was put in because I always complained that you had this talk of C-suits on internal events on stages, and they were talking about the new digital era, but the reality on the front was super analog, and so I was complaining, and then they said, Robin, if you think you can do it better, then go to the headquarter. And so that's what I did. So I had the privilege not only to be an agent out there, but also actually going to the headquarter and leading their large-scale transformation projects.
Okay, got it. That's pretty cool. And you've got a PhD in philosophy from the University of Hamburg. Okay.
Yes, so I wrote my PhD in military strategy of the 19th century. So if you ever want to wage war with swords and cannons, I'm your go-to guy.
Okay, well, so we're recording this right in the middle of the coronavirus crisis, and I'm a gamer, and what I have been doing during my free time is playing Crusader Kings 2. So a grand strategy game from a time before cannons, but might actually be helpful. So if you get a message from me about ancient military questions, now you know why.
The funny thing about this topic, about history in general, is that there are some human constants that are constant, that are everywhere. For example, I wrote about a German military who became very famous in South America, and he was actually failing. He was failing in Germany, he was failing in the US, and then he went to South America where he became super successful. But the same in everyday life. I mean, sometimes you can have great talents. But maybe it's a wrong place you are in, or it's a wrong train you are in wrong direction. But and so what I want to try, if you look at history, and why I always make also a little bit of fun about my PhD topic, is you can learn a lot about it. And actually, I learned a lot during that time. And sometimes I catch myself when I'm frustrated, or I throw a pity party for myself. I'm like, humans have been in this situation for hundreds, thousands, maybe millions of years. Robin, you are going to figure that one out too. So I think we can learn a lot from history, and not everything, but there are some human constants, I think.
Okay, and I really liked this idea of just because you weren't successful in one thing, it doesn't mean that you won't be successful, or in one place, it doesn't mean that you won't be successful. I think the quote is generally attributed to Albert Einstein, but who knows? I haven't done the research to find out who it's by. But basically, the whole if you judge a fish by its ability to climb, right? If you're gonna think that it's useless, right? And it's just because you're judging it by the wrong thing. I found this accurate in my own life. I first tried computer science, and it
Yeah,
turns out I can't do math. But
me neither.
I am really good at relationships, and I'm really good at sales and getting people excited.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't failed at computer science and later at finance, I would not have found that out.
But don't get me wrong. I'm with my fails. I always love to learn not through my fails because that's the most expensive way. I love to learn from others. That's always better.
correct, and that is a reason that I'm a reader.
Yeah, me too.
That it makes so much sense to, and I read a lot of business books, a lot of biographies over the years, because yes, it is a lot cheaper to learn from other people's mistakes, and that's why I'm very open with my own mistakes, because it does. If I can help others learn and not make the same mistake, that's fantastic. So you ended up with Allianz selling insurance and then helping Allianz sell insurance and do it better. And then you end up as a co-author, I believe, with Matteo, who doesn't need a last name, with Di Matteo Carboni, as a co-author on the InsurTech book. And I don't have a copy because if I remember correctly, it was like $45.
Yes, I only got one here.
You guys priced it in such a way that it only makes sense for board members of insurance companies who can expense it. So tell me, how did you end up collaborating with Matteo on that book?
Yeah, and I think that we also had Susan Chisti there and Sabine van der Linden, who are the authors. So they get all the, and Shan Milley and Nicole Anderson. I think they deserve all the credit for putting this book together. And they asked, I think, people around the world to contribute. And there was a competition about abstracts, and I won the one for my chapter. But what's really what I like about the InsurTech book, that it really, at a very early stage, I think 2 or 3 years old or 4 years old, that there were people out there like Sabine van der Linden and Nicole Chisti, and I think they also don't need a last name, everybody knows them, that they said, okay, we invest a lot of time and put this book together of several people that actually wrote there, and I think it's a very kind thing. And the funny thing is, if you read it today, 3-4 years later, which is an age in the digital era, so many lessons are still true, so many descriptions are still correct. It's unbelievable that in some areas we actually didn't move at all.
So, well, I'm glad you guys put it on dead trees, since it has remained relevant, not just in ebook format. So what is digital scouting .de, and tell me about attention hacking, how it applies to insurance and InsurTech.
So we had a special situation because I never intended to be my blog, Digital Scouting, which I started because I was really annoyed by the insurance industry in Germany. I never intended that this actually became a company. Nowadays, we are like a consulting company, marketing agency with about 20 people around the world. We help insurers and banks to do attention hacking. We also have a department that does product development, helps with apps that don't work or save them, and we do also digital strategy and all these things, and market entry into Central Europe, by the way, which also can be interesting for Americans, I think, at some point. But how it started, actually, I was really annoyed by the industry, and I left, actually, unbelievable. I was unfaithful to the insurance industry because I left and I went actually to online gaming, and we built apps there. One app made over $1 billion in sales, and then I went to a private bank and we made an app that made over $1 billion in assets under information. I never had equity in either company, so I still need to work. My fault, stupid me. I did the mistake twice. Well, the game. And the one company was sold for over $470 million, so that, or $500 million. So that hurt a little. Sometimes it hurts. Nevertheless, what I wanted to share there is that I felt pretty comfortable that with this experience with building these two apps, again, as part of teams. Was one app, it was a large team. One other app, I think it was okay to associate my name with that. And I was like, I'm really annoyed by this industry. And I saw so many things that were going wrong in sales, but also in the internal headquarters, that I couldn't help myself. And I went on stage and said, if I never get a job in this industry, I don't care. So I ranted. But the funny thing is, and you always have people from outside the industry coming and telling them what they are doing wrong. But I was an insider. I knew which jokes to make the salespeople laugh or cry, and I know which jokes to make the internal departments laugh or cry. So they always knew after a few seconds, oh, this is one guy of us, but why is he ranting so much, and why does he saying all these radical things? And radical things I said was things like, Amazon will enter the insurance space, or there will be AI in claims management, and like, oh, ever you think we need humans, and all things like that. So discussions that are unbelievable today and unthinkable today were very rebellious 3, 4, 5 years ago. And that's what I started. And then I got a lot of following and people, helping me and supporting me. And at some point, somebody called me an influencer, which is really funny because at first I didn't know if I, should thank this person or, send them a restraining order. I wasn't sure about that because I didn't know what it was. I actually need to look it up. And from there, this following grew. We have 70,000 people on different channels. We have live shows. We have social media all over the place. Right now, we also have a live show we do with like the movers and shakers of the industry. We do videos like with you, for example. We included you too. And from that point on, at some point, insurers and banks came to me and said, Robin, it's really nice that you have this blog and vlog and YouTube and LinkedIn and Sing and Twitter and whatever. Why don't you come and have a coffee? And I drank a lot of coffee at some time, and until I figured out that could be a business, actually, a lot of time passed. And at some point, I started to do projects with banks and insurers and started hiring people and help the insurance industry actually to use these opportunities, because I was always ranting on stage and I was saying, you guys, we are so important in the life of our clients. We have such a vital role in the economy, and we see this today. And we have such a bad image. We do so many bad things in sales still today. And we work very hard on our bad image. And sometimes it's justified. And we need to change certain things. And now I help those in the industry that want to change. Because despite of what people think out there, we have a lot of mid-sized, small, and even large insurers that really want to make a change. And that's where those we help. And so Digital Scouting still is a blog, a crazy place where you find people ranting on stages with me and others, of course. But also it's a place where you get like concrete help if you want an exotic outside voice and view on your situation.
What are the main things that we do wrong? And I have no idea if it's the same here in the States as it is in Europe. But what is the main things that we do wrong when it comes to selling insurance that just drive you crazy?
What I never understood when I was an agent, and we always had these gold travel things, and this award ceremony, so the best insurance sales, and then you get to talk to the C-suites. And what I never understood, I asked them, we have now March, it's accident March, or we have April, maybe we have accident April, where the insurance headquarters tells you as a tied agent, you need to sell, in order to get the gold medal, you need to sell 50 accident insurance. And I always wondered, how does the headquarter, with any data at all about my clients, because IT is a disaster, know that I have 50 people in my client base that need accident insurance? And then I asked always the decision maker and said, how do you know this? And they say, we don't. We just ask you to sell 50 insurance. And then
it's a challenge, yeah.
But then they force the agents and brokers are a little bit different, but they force the agents to go to the client base, look for some victim to sell my accident insurance to, just to get the gold medal. And then we wonder that we have the image of in the public. We just want to sell some stuff. I mean, that's the truth. At some point, and I think that's something it's structurally wrong. On the other hand, don't get me wrong, I like competition. We need to measure things. I don't also like this, everybody gets a trophy, 8th place trophies. It's also not good, not going to work. And we award laziness. No, don't get me wrong. I'm for achieving goals, for pushing, for working hard. But why measure something a person cannot influence? You cannot, if you are a salesperson, you cannot influence how many certain projects you sell to a certain clientele. What you can measure is the actions. How many people do you call? How many meetings did you have? How many chats did you have? What did you sell and how profitable was it? That you can track and that you can measure, and that would be fair. Also to compare to other sales agents in the region, and then to see, okay, we have one person, Tony is selling accident insurance like crazy in February, and maybe people should, call you and ask you how you do it. And maybe I, Robin, and I'm horrible at accident insurance, but maybe you can help me. And that could be a whole total different discussion, that we should change the sales game, also the commission game. And on the other hand, maybe one more thing, we also have whole academies, sales academies at these insurance companies. They did not provide one single valuable sales advice. It was just insanity, like sentences like, how could I help you that you become more successful? And I was like, get me meetings, get me clients that are not 80 years old and things like that. And then I said, just as they repeated their sentence all the time, because with that, they could tell their boss, oh, I offered him help. I asked them, what can I do to make you more successful? But they never helped because there was no answer. They weren't in sales. They weren't not in the sales field, and they didn't know the answer. And what I think is the way we also teach selling is super important, how to do it. For example, the commission system was really for some people working in very simple sales positions, very low income. And what I always said, what kind of you need to show the people that they can actually make money with it. If there's no, and then they said, okay, you're on commission, so you can make $1 million a year. But if in your entire sales organization, there's not one single simple sales manager that makes more than minimum wage, I'm sorry. Yeah, but then that's a scam. And, I was talking about these topics and, people getting really quiet in the audience because it was like, oh my God, he's touching a lot of taboos. Yeah, but you need to talk honestly about these things in order when you want to change it, because I am passionate for the insurance industry, because I believe, again, you could not drive a car in public if there wasn't insurance, because you would need to save $10,000s, $100,000s of dollars in order to save for potential damage you do because, I don't know, you do an accident. And that's why we are so important. Or when you have, business interruption policy that maybe covers pandemic and your business gets shut down and you get money paid for that. That's amazing. That's great. We save lives. We save families. The ventilators, that are running all around the country right now, they are mostly paid by insurance companies. So we do great things, but sometimes, there are some areas we should actually improve. And, sales is a big topic where we can get better. And that's just in a status, and attention hacking says, actually, you should go out there. You should, not only focus on this stupid accident March sales initiative, but go out there, become part of the daily life of your target group, of your customer portfolio. Be there. Don't call them and talk to them every day. Of course, you cannot talk to 1,500 or 2,000 clients a day. That's impossible. But produce content in your audience, share it also via social media, use WhatsApp, use LinkedIn, use Facebook to really grow a fan base in your community, in your local community, as an agent or even as a sales manager. And then at some point, the people will come and ask you and say, you do also mortgages? Can I also do a mortgage with you? Or they ask, I just have a question here. And then you can actually really help the people by providing good products they really need in the moment they need it. And what we have seen when we apply attention hacking in sales divisions, or also for large scale companies, is that you turn it around. You don't need to go into the market and push and sell products, but actually the customers come to you. Those customers in your portfolio that actually need your service currently. And that's an increase, a 2-digit increase in most for our clients.
But how long does it take? So if I run a sales organization for an insurance company, and right now it's taking me, well, here in the US, the traditional period to train a new agent is 3 years. We call it the 3-year validation period. And basically, most agencies bring them in with a salary, and then that salary declines every year for 3 years. And then the success rate is horrid. But basically, when it goes
positively,
well,
of course.
When it goes well, when it works, which might be 20 or 30% of the time, maybe less. 3 years to get them to the point where they're bringing enough business to really pay for themselves. So if you flip it around and you make it more of a really well created pull system instead of a push, how long does it take?
So in general, and it does not matter if you're an agent that sells life insurance, liability insurance, car insurance, doesn't matter if you sell that, or if you're a sales manager for a software company that sells multi-million-dollar contract, doesn't matter. It always takes between 9 and 12 months.
Okay, that's the third. Yeah, okay.
That's a third. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it really depends on the situation. So if you are an agent and your customer portfolio is dead because you have already sold everybody everything, or you have not done your job for a long time, and now you want the new person, you know, getting in and does actually the job. So we have problems here in Europe of dead customer portfolios. They are super old. Everything is sold. So then it's super hard when they need to, you know, acquire customers from scratch. It takes a little bit longer. But if you have a customer portfolio of a decent agent that has been doing a great job, it's very healthy, just, you know, it's overwhelmed, there's maybe 2,000 clients or 5,000, I don't know, then it takes 6, 9, 12 months if you do it substantially. And by the way, we have the same problem over here. Here the people, depends from company to company. People, you know, I can share how it went with me. I joined the company, and like 2 weeks we were in some, you know, academy, which was like a horrible rundown 0-star hotel in the middle of nowhere with horrible food. The food was great when the C-suits came visiting us. Then suddenly everything was great, but it was like in a bad movie. It was like in a bad movie.
Okay.
Yeah, and after 2 weeks we were sent to get clients and get some lists and meetings and sell them stuff we never have heard about ourselves. So that has changed from company different. Now they are sometimes half a year getting trained and then getting to the front. I'm not sure what's better or worse, but the problem is also we have from the people that started with me, the 20 people, I think one single person still with the company. And we have like 80-90% people that drop off within the first 1 or 2 weeks. That is a waste of money.
Mm-hmm, yep, that is here in the States, and I haven't heard numbers recently, but to give you an idea, back in the 90s, the life insurance companies had a survival rate of like a 5-year survival rate of like 4%. 96% of new life salespeople would not make it. And basically, those people, right back in the 90s, you burn somebody out, they go and they badmouth you to their 5 closest friends. Today, you do that, and they badmouth you to their 500, 5,000. 50,000 closest friends, and you make it a lot harder for the entire industry, even the areas that are not sales. You make it we all get a bad reputation, right? So it drives me crazy because you make it hard for all of us to recruit into our industry, and this is such a great industry to work in once you make it, whether it's the carrier or the broker side.
Totally. And I mean, don't get me wrong. You have a lot of agents and brokers that go through that route, that make it, that make the insanity, or that participate in the insanity of the first years of the theater and the role play and all those things, and they find their own way and all agents and brokers I know that are superstars, that are on, you know, always have are part of the big clubs. They are mostly very, you know, not participate in the March accident insurance initiative because, okay, if they can make it because they have a portfolio, they do it, but they do not go and sell somebody something that he or she doesn't want. They don't do that because they would destroy their reputation in their local community, and they have understood that that's something that's what's super valuable. And that's, by the way, why we have so many mid-aged or aged agents and brokers that are super successful, but they see certain movements in their portfolio and they are now open to do this attention hacking. We are talking on mostly to the stars that then go to their carrier and say, okay, you need to bring Robin on board. This thing we tried out really worked. And it's sometimes people 50 plus, 55 plus that say, I need 10 more years, I need 15 more years, or I need 1 or 2 million more in commission to retire. And then really they are super open for that. The system produces sometimes good agents and brokers, but it's super inefficient And I think there are a million ways to do it better.
The system produces good brokers almost despite itself, basically.
Despite itself, yeah.
Yeah, like we lock into some people that are good at it because we churn through enough of them. So what advice do you have for a newer agency owner or a newer producer, whether they're exclusive or independent, right? They fell into this into selling insurance and they have not found success.
The big question is, do you have enough runway? I mean, if you're fighting for survival and you need to pay rates of your car and your house, and you need to put food on the family table, food on the table of your family, who am I to, you know, recommend to do you anything? You know, you're in survival mode. I don't know what could I help you with. Maybe get another job. Maybe that's one, or do something aside and do also pizza stuff or whatever. I mean, because I think a lot of things you need to be able to afford. But if you're in survival mode, especially, I don't know, I've heard stories and I've witnessed these things. Carrier promises a new person a certain amount of P&C portfolio and customer portfolio. They have their first day, they have spent all the money with the office and everything. They open their computer, only half the customer portfolio is there. And it's not an accident, it's on purpose. And then they tell the person, well, you know, you need to acquire just the rest. And that's still happening today. It's not a story from 5 or 10 years ago. It's a story from happening today. And yeah, so that's that. And so what will I recommend a person that, you know, comes by? What I think what's super important is to understand that it's a long play. If you have a customer, all those big shots driving their BMWs, Mercedes to the clubs, and now, you know, have this really, you know, a member of all gold clubs. I'm not sure if the club thing is also a thing in the US, but, you know, get all the awards. They have worked their butts off, like for years and years and years. And if you've asked these super successful agents, and I have done this always when I meet them, I said, what's your success? You know, why are you so successful? Then they say always the same story. They never share their secret. They share the same story. They say, I don't know, the client just comes to me. That's complete BS, you know, because what they forget to mention is that for the first 10 years in their career, they went from door to door and knocked, and now they never do it. They are too good for it, you know. They don't do door knocking. They don't. Some people say even they don't even you know, take the phone call if it's not 10 grand or more. And yeah, but you know, but I think it's super important to build up the customer portfolio of people that trust you, that want you, that really want your advice. And if you have a customer portfolio that's not good, you need to build it up from scratch. It's super hard, but I would do it differently than what your carrier is telling you. I would become a brand in my community. I would use social media a lot. I would be super transparent, super honest. Choose maybe also to publicize a hobby. I mean, it's not a secret. I'm a diehard fan of Hamburg Sports Club, and I just communicate it all the time because, you know, I'm a diehard sports club fan of this club, and it's really bad club. I'm waiting for the first national title since 1988. It feels like 1888. But, you know, funnily enough, I have a lot of people that do business with me that are also, you know, Hamburg Sports Club fans. I don't know, you know, a lot of insurance C-suits have this, you know, hobby, obviously. So I would say, you know, also communicate your hobby. If you love dogs, you know, and shoot a picture of your dog and do all of that. Then I would also try to partner with other multiplicators in your area. Why not with a tax advisor? Why not with a financial advisor? Why not with a Boy Scouts club? I don't know, or become a member of clubs and do not sell there. Just be there, say who you are, what you do. And at some point somebody says, oh yeah, I need a mortgage or I need a liability. Please come and help me. And I would share your story, share what you're doing, be entertaining, also share some private stuff. Yeah, I think a very good company that does a splendid job. They are not agents anymore, but they were agents. It's actually Glovebox, also in the US and InsurTech, and they do like I think a fantastic job in branding. And they really, I think you can learn a lot from them how they're doing it.
Okay, what advice do you have for carriers? So right. In fact, a good one to talk about is somebody like Nationwide here in the States, who just went from exclusive agents now independent, right? They're now an independent agent. brands. So if you got a call from a company like that who is trying to sell through independent agents, maybe that's not what they historically did. What's your advice?
I would say treat your agents as clients. What does that mean? You need to do a lot of homework and technology and application processes and all of that. We know all of that. But you need to treat them like your clients. What does that mean? Also, you as a carrier need to become part of the daily life in the world and the thinking of your agent, and not only when they're mad because something doesn't work. You know, that you need to become part of the daily life. They need to think about you all the time. And how do you do? And by the way, not only you as a brand, but your sales manager, your employed sales manager that are not on commission, that are, you know, trying to help the independent agents. They need to become personal brands, and their number of, I don't know, 100 or 500 agents they manage, they need to call them, they need to be daily in their mind. How? They need to create content. We have run studies that show if they share a post or a content produced by, you know, the headquarter with some nice looking actor or actress, that has no effect on the agent, almost no effect. But if it's the person they know, the Jim or Joe or Sabrina they know, it makes a total difference because they know the person. And so what we advise them is, do not go into your car, do not drive to your agent in the whole day. But what you do is do only one meeting, and the other 2 meetings you delete. You do via, I don't know, audio, video, whatever, and then the save time, produce content for your agents and brokers you manage. And we have one big insurance client over here that does it in a very specialized sales channel, super successful. These people that actually were volunteering for, you know, let's do more media stuff and share via WhatsApp some funny videos, but professionally made, but funny. But from the people they know, the turnout is amazing. Because then, you know, when the agent is in the meeting, he can choose between 5 carriers, and maybe he says, oh, I need to do Tony a favor, you know, and it's just 2 carriers. Let's go for them, you know. And you create a lot of you can increase the efficiency of your sales organization. You can do more with less agents. We have seen 50% drop in travel cost and 30% rise in revenue in some of our clients.
Gotcha. Okay, so producing content when it comes to carriers, at least here in the States, if we manage to convince a carrier that they need to produce more content, chances are what they'll do is they'll bring in a professional production company, spend a ton of money on it, and end up with very bland, very generic content. How do you avoid that? How do you get authentic content? And I think that's what you were going for when you said, right, like don't use actors, use your actual people. How do you end up with authentic content that will actually speak to your sales force or to your agency force?
Most of our clients are insurers. They came to us in some point of desperation. I don't know. They have high targets, or the division managers or C-suites have high targets. They have spent a few millions with the agencies you mentioned with 0 results. Actually, I have somebody was very critical against what I always say and do, but he was slaughtered in the marketplace, and he says, now it's time for the crazy person from Hamburg. Give him a call. Call Robin finally, and, you know, make him come here, and, you know. What I always say is, and we participate in pitches, and I really like it, and RFPs and things like that, because we tend to win them. And what I always say is, do not spend $1 million on a clip. If you do this again, I'm going to freak out. What you need to do instead is, instead of spending 1 million for one clip, or 10 million, even better, do 345 videos, super hyper targeted. If a person over 65 enters your homepage, the video should be a person in that age. If it's a male, female, and we have all these studies that are done and all this AI-driven results things, and you need to have you have to have a massive of content that individualized you distribute as a company to only on your own homepage. That's only one thing. So you need to cut it up, your budgets. You need to be able to create content at a fraction of the price, almost the same production quality, and even better storytelling. I don't want to, I said something positive about Allianz, so I can say something negative about it. They just launched a new ad with Usain Bolt. Impressive guy. Don't get me wrong, impressive guy. Probably super nice, but it's super old school ad. And so they film him what he does and runs through Jamaica and everything is fine. And then at the end, there's some Allianz logo. That has nothing to do with the company. They spent probably 10 million with it or even more. Yeah, it is a total waste of money because what do I, as a mid-size, slightly overweight insurance nerd, have to do with the super spotter? Nothing. But so my sense is cut this budget up and do film a lot of other films. And what I also say to all our clients is you need to build up own capacities. You need to build up own attention hacking capacities. If your film team feels it's under their dignity to produce a video for YouTube, then it's time to let them go. Time for Hollywood ads is over.
Below them is the same in American English.
You will laugh. I was at a client, super large insurer here, insurance company, let's put it here in Europe. And then at some point the C-suite said something about their own camera team, and I was like, that was my camera team. I was like, guys, if you would have said something, we could have used yours. No, it's also cheaper for you. And then I said, no, it's better that they don't know that you're here. And then I found out they have the studio and everything. They have the super expensive cameras. I mean, we have also good cameras, but we are attention hackers. We are hackers. We don't use $100,000 cameras. But it looks like it. It looks like it, and that's the secret. And the whole agency, like advertisement agency and marketing agency, scene is in disruption. Even get sometimes invited for prices, and I always say, I don't care. I don't care what other agencies and senior VPs think about my stuff. I don't care. It's important what the client thinks and the customer, if he's paying more and if the data is there, that's what's important. I don't want a price from other people. And then they meet there and they shove their shoulders and they give their prices to each other for ads that are totally out of date. Probably this Allianz ad is also going to win. Not the client, but probably the
price. You are the only person anywhere related to insurance that I've ran into. And again, my audience is very US heavy. But you've actually got TikTok listed on your LinkedIn headline. The average insurance person here in the States probably doesn't know what TikTok is. I'm 37, so I'm fairly young. My girlfriend likes to watch TikTok. She doesn't post on it. But from my perspective, TikTok is little more than teenagers doing, eating Tide Pods or dancing. How does it apply to insurance? How are you helping companies create TikTok content that is bringing in business?
So TikTok, how should I put it? So why was I convinced of TikTok at some point? I heard myself saying the same arguments and prejudices against it as all other people always say against me when I say, maybe do something with social media or this internet is not going to go away. Then they have all these arguments, and I was saying the same arguments against this technology. And I was like, Robin. And then I had C-suits saying, oh, it's hell and it's just for children. And I was like, okay, Robin, you need to try this out. You cannot pray, you cannot preach all the time. You guys need to try out things and you don't do it yourself. That would be hypocritical. So I tried it out. I did a video that got, I think, 200,000 views. It was like only me, doing a very bad video on it. So what is TikTok? TikTok is a stream, a news feed, or a social media stream with a lot of short videos between, I would say, 5 seconds and 60 seconds, but mostly it's only up to 10, 15 seconds. It started with dance videos, but now it's a lot of entertainment, a lot of edutainment, and a lot of, and why does it work? It works. Normally you have to watch a video of 1 minute or 5 minutes or even a movie for 90 minutes. And then you have 2, 3, 5 high points in it. TikTok, you get one high point after the other. That's why it's so addictive. You get one funny, good video after the other. And if you don't like it, you swipe away, you never see it again, and you see other ones. So that's something interesting for the user, why so many users are on it. and why are so many insurers on it? I actually don't care how the platform is called, people are on. I really don't care. It's always, does it have the attention of a certain mass demographic? And if it has the attention, but not enough content creators are there, and especially not the big brands are there that spend still millions with Usain Bolt doing a boring advertisement, then you as a simple content creator like me from a small agency, we can make content. And I think I hit the 1 million views within a few weeks. With that, and imagine insurers taking advantage of it. And we have clients, we don't force, but we beg them to try out TikTok. And we had some that were super skeptical. One, which core target group is 45 plus in a very conservative niche, super technical. And even they have some very positive experience with this. Why? Because also this demographic target group is there. Why? Because in Facebook was also for a college student at the beginning. And then this age group grew itself, and other older age groups said, oh, I want to do the same thing these young people should do. And that's what we see in TikTok. So the demographics are pouring in, the own demographic gets older, so it becomes interesting also for insurance companies. I really hope that we are not again like the last one at the party, because when you're the last one at the party, it's the only thing what you get is the leftovers. And that's what we see on YouTube. I mean, we did a study on insurance companies using YouTube, and the results were so disastrous that we didn't publish the study because the people were thinking, Robin, you're insane again. But it was a disaster. And we have multi-billion-dollar companies around the world that have no channel on YouTube, or that dump their slow-moving, boring $10 million ads down there. Nobody watches. And then they say, oh, YouTube doesn't work. I published this video there. And then they're like, you need to produce content that is adequate to the channel. And the same with TikTok, by the way. At the beginning, we did a lot of mistakes. We produced also some content that was actually, we dumped stuff there which we produced for YouTube, and it was horrible. And then we started to produce videos that were actually meant for the channel and also using the rules and regulations, and we went viral. So that's really cool.
Okay, so the biggest thing is you have to produce the content for the channel. You can't just grab your archive of TV commercials, or even worse, like internal corporate videos, which are longer, and throw them on YouTube or TikTok and hope for the best.
Maybe one more thing, but I'm always super surprised at. You have this cinematic advertisement. And there are a lot of vanity KPIs and fake KPIs that these agencies show you, whatever this means in impressions and whatever. And then you put the same content in a channel which you can actually track real life behavior of your clients, and you see this content fails horribly. Maybe, just maybe, also nobody's watching your ad. And your agency is just telling you everybody's watching. Just a maybe. I don't know, maybe. And that's my strategy is also to disrupt the agencies in consulting space, because we don't live in a fancy office building. I mean, ours is okay, but we are focusing only on super efficient, on producing content at high quality movie quality level at a fraction of the price. And in order to deliver these, small videos for small audiences, for different channels and all of that. And that's a science. And that's what these big agencies can do. They have their team of people, and they prefer to produce a $10 million ad because it makes more money. But it will not last, because we see more and more carriers coming to us and say, we need to do it in a different way.
Okay, so we're basically out of time. But if your crazy, high energy, passionate German accent actually landed with some of our listeners here in the States, what's the best way? And I will link on the show notes to your LinkedIn and to the company website. But what is the best way to get a hold of you?
Follow me on TikTok and do a DM there, and try it out. And I always say to the people, do not, if you get addictive and you lose hours and hours on TikTok, don't blame me. No, but the best way you can get me is LinkedIn direct messages. Just contact me there. Write me an email at robin@digitalscouting.de, or at one of the other channels. We are everywhere, actually.
Perfect. So yeah, add him on LinkedIn. Reach out. Clearly, what you get is a lot of energy, a lot of passion, and hey, we all know Americans love accents. probably the reason for half my success. So Robin, thank you very much for joining me today. It's been a lot of fun. It is rare that I chat with somebody else in insurance who has the hyperactive energy that I have and the passion for the industry. So it's absolutely fantastic to chat.
Yeah.
And even like the craziest thing is so I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. It's we've been recording from 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern time. So for you in Germany, you're probably 10, almost 11 p.m. now.
Yeah.
So I cannot believe that you have this level of energy this late at night. So absolutely awesome chatting with you. And hopefully this will be helpful, and you'll get some calls from some U.S. agencies or carriers. And I look forward to hear on how that goes. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me, and let's meet soon.